Hi, and welcome to the Ask Sue Show. Hope everybody's okay. I can actually tell you today that I am excited about this show. This is one of those shows that literally has touched quite a few people, let's just say. I'm going to read this to you before we start the show because I can't wait to get my amazing guests on. On the morning of October the 19th, 2018, Chuck Hawley was driving to work in Salem, Oregon, when he saw something in the road a few cars ahead. He couldn't tell what it was, but saw that cars were just driving right over him, so he thought nothing of it until the object came out from under the truck in front of him, and he saw that it was a little kitten sitting up looking right at him. He slammed on his brakes, fumbled for the hazards, and got out to look. There in the middle of the busy road was this tiny, wet, shivering kitten. He went to pick it up and realized that it was stuck to the road by some sort of rubber cement. He managed to peel the substance with the little kitten still stuck to it off the pavement and took the kitten, glue and all, with him to work. Having no clue what to do next, he and a co-worker tried to clean off the glue, which was all over his feet, tail and neck. Chuck then took the kitten to his vet in Silverton, where they used mineral water and Dawn soap to remove the remainder of the glue, and miraculously, there was little damage from the glue. However, something or someone had done something to the kitten that left puncture wounds in his neck. Within an hour, Chuck posting the story to his friends on Facebook and his wife sharing his post on a community page, it went viral. What was originally a post about a crazy morning and bewilderment of how someone could do something so horrific, it shortly became a story of hope, heroism, and just some good old-fashioned kindness. It gave thousands of people that feel good. We've obviously been needing and restored our hope that this world is still full of good-hearted people. Sticky the Kitty Foundation is dedicated to helping animals and the humans and learn that even the simplest act of kindness can spread hope and joy throughout the world. Do you know what? I've just got to bring this absolute hero straight onto the show. He's been holding long enough. I have got to welcome to the show, Chuck. Hi, Chuck. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, do you know what? First of all, I have got to say to you, the first question I've got to ask you is, how the hell did you stop so quick? I watched this video 3 or 4 times, and I've got to say to everyone, I keep thinking to myself, how did he manage to stop so quick? Because that traffic was going quite a speed before you actually managed to get to the kitten.
It was, and he was pretty close to me in front of me. I don't actually know. No one's asked me that before. I don't know how I stopped so quick, but I managed to stop between, it was maybe only 10 feet from where I saw him to when I stopped, and yeah, that's funny. No one's asked me that one yet, but I don't know. But we managed to, and we pulled it off. So.
Oh, I'll tell you what, absolute amazing. I just, every time I look, I think, gosh, they were going so fast. I mean, I still ask the question, how on earth did all of those people, granted, none of them stopped, it was just you that stopped, but how did any of them, all of them, miss, you know, it was absolute, you just, all of us, I think, were looking at the kid and think, oh my goodness, it's going to be the next one, it's going to be the next one, and when you stopped, it was like, oh my gosh, that was just, but life-changing for you, Chuck, let's be fair.
Oh, it was like I had no idea how life-changing it was at that moment. It took up, through the weekend before we realized, like, wow, this is a big story. And when I posted that, I had 128 friends on Facebook, and my page was private. And a friend of mine asked me to make it public so he could share that post with other people that would be driving down that road that morning. And so I made that post public, and that was on Friday morning. By Saturday morning, my wife told me that there was, I think, 12,000 reactions to that post, and I thought, that's crazy. I only have 120 friends. How can that be possible? And that was Saturday morning. By Saturday afternoon, it was like to 30,000, and then we were kind of like, oh, what is going on? And we started getting these emails from people and how it had touched them and how it had given them hope and just hope in people. And over here in America, half of the country thinks the other half of the country is crazy. It just doesn't matter which side you're on. Someone thinks someone's crazy over here. And so we're just doing that for the next few years. And I had no idea how divided we were and how just sad people were that, with what was going on. until we started getting these emails and started getting those reactions. And before we knew it, we were getting emails from over there where you are, from England, and then from all over Europe. And then we started getting emails from Australia and then Africa. And it's easier to say where we haven't gotten emails from than it is to where we have them, because they've just come from everywhere. And it just seems it's just a worldwide condition that people just need something to hope, just something to have hope in. And I've always, bullying has always been a big deal to me. I had a pretty rough fifth grade year, just 1 year in school, where we moved to a weird place, and I had a rough time that year. And from then on, bullying has just been I can't stand it in any form. And so we saw an opportunity to help that, and then we started getting donations, and we didn't really need the donations. We had jobs, and so my wife had run a nonprofit foundation before, and so we decided, hey, let's turn these donations into that and see what we can do with that. And then that kind of took off. And then I had always wanted to write children's books and just never had an avenue to do it. And then we saw an opportunity to write books about kindness, and so we wrote a couple of those, and then that kind of did pretty well. And then it just has gotten bigger and bigger, and it never occurred to us. I just thought I found a kitten. That's really all I thought that morning was like, oh, cool, we have a new kitten. And, so, no, it's been quite an amazing ride for sure.
Do you know what, Chuck?
And then I get to talk to cool people like you.
Oh, wow, thanks. I've got to say something to you. I've seen the video. I've obviously been following you with Sticky, and to be fair, Sticky looks like one of mine. I've also got tabbies.
Oh, yeah.
I've actually rescued someone. I lived in Shropshire. I moved up to Blackpool, which is like up the other end of UK. And I've actually got 10 cats at the minute. And everybody goes, oh my goodness, but they've all got their stories, they've all got their personalities and everything. But I'll tell you what really got me with you was the other day, and I've got to say to everybody, this guy is just amazing. You did a speech the other day, and I was listening to a speech that you did, but then I also heard a quote from you, and it was, I spoke to my boss a few days before, and I said to him, I just want to, and he'd asked you, am I right, he'd asked you something about what did you want to do, where did you see yourself in the future, and you said, I just want to make a difference. What can I do to make a difference?
Yeah, that's true.
You know what?
He saw me.
That was amazing to me. I just literally clicked with you on that. All the rest I already have, but that to me, because my dream is I want to connect all the advocates. Right, we've got some amazing people on our Facebooks, yours and mine. Amazing people, right? I don't care where people come from. I don't care about what's happened. I don't care about what's happened to them, but in the sense of, people come from different walks of life, different colour skin, whatever. I'm not bothered about their religions or anything else. It's about making a difference, and just that quote to me just rang with me because it just literally, I always say my inspiration for me is people like you, but also people like Ellen DeGeneres. And everybody wants a media voice, right? Now, and you'll laugh at this, but you finding just a little kitten and look at the voice you've managed to get, right? And I keep saying to everybody, everybody's wanting a media voice, right? And the only way we'll ever get a media voice is by an advocate who really want to get it out there, but are going, right, how can we do this? Do you know what I mean? Now, you were sat there and saying to yourself, like, how can I do this, right? And you got an answer. And I'm not joking, I have posted so many things lately, I feel like my head's buzzing. But you just that one quote made such a difference to me. And it was just like, you certainly got your question answered.
Yeah, that is very humbling. Thank you very much. Yeah, that was true. He saw me struggling in my job, and he had just asked, what would you do if you could do anything? And, my first answer would be I would go surf. And okay, what would you do for a job if you could go do anything? And, work, okay. And so then I said, I just want to find some way to give people hope. But I had no idea how to do that at that moment. And that was literally maybe a week before I found Sticky. And it's almost just, people have said you were just put in the right place at the right time, and I feel like I was. I feel like it was someone had answered that, and I'm the same as you. I don't care what people's background is. I don't care what their color, their race, their religion, their sex. I don't care what you are, as long as you're kind to people. That's all I care about. If you're good to other people, then you're all right with me. Like, good enough. Whatever your life is, that's fine. As long as you're nice to people, that's it. And
I will say, Chuck, you do make me laugh, because some of your statuses are just like mine. Granted, Chuck, yours are sometimes much politer than mine. I can get a bit more of a rant on me. But to be fair, you get your rant pants on too, don't you? Because I've seen you when you've literally had people that have, like, been nasty to somebody else on a status or something, and the next status is like, whoa, listen, whoa, we're not having that nonsense. This isn't allowed here. Do you know what I mean? And, I applaud you for that, because the thing, and this is what I hate, I have had it where I have done two sides to every story, and I get jumped on because I did the other side, and it wasn't always what people want to hear. But you've got to give the whole story, and it's not always what people want to hear, And
right.
I think,
that's life, and
I
right?
think
that's how it works.
Exactly. But I want to give two sides. It's like I was speaking to somebody the other day who wants to do a show, and I said, but I'll be getting the other person in as well. Why are you going to do that? Because I'm not going to do a radio show that's not going to put the other side across. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, for instance, I'm sure you've had the question of, well, what do you think of all those people that went over sticky that day who didn't stop? But then,
right.
the other side of that is what was going on in their life, and were they in a rush? It could be that they were rushing to the hospital for a child that was in hospital. Could be that, somebody was, there's loads of different reasons for everything that people do. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, going back to you saying about bullying, I was bullied as a kid, my mum and dad, daft as it sounds, my mum and dad, we rescued some jackdaws. Right, jackdaws are like crows over here, okay?
Oh, okay.
And we literally rescued them. One had a broken wing and was only a baby. The other one, somebody had tamed up, but then decided they didn't want it anymore. So we rescued both of them. Now, funnily enough, they lived till they were 16 and 17-year-old. Now, my mate, the one day, we were talking about my jackdaws, and my mate suddenly said to one of her mates as a joke, oh, well, she must be eating them. Do you know what? I got bullied every single day for it. Every single day. And it's not, it's the fact, do you know what? It's about the fact of, like, people say, oh, it's just words. But, when that is literally drilled into every single day, right, every single day, oh, you must eat jackdaws, and it's all the time, keep on every single day. It's like, words do hurt. And you're right to jump on people and say, hold a minute, that's not acceptable. Everybody can have their side. It doesn't mean that you have to have a go.
Right. You don't have to be nasty to people to get your point across. You can just say your point and move on with life. Like, you don't have to feed it into them. Like, and you're right. I mean, words absolutely hurt. They, one time maybe a person can handle it, but when it's every day and it's over and over, and I see, we have stories over here of kids all the time. Little kids, 14-year-old kids killing themselves, 12-year-old kids killing themselves because they have no hope, and it just kills me that they think that's the only solution to it, and it's not. The solution is for the people that are bullying them to shut up. That's the solution. And just be kind to people, and we just have it over here so much, and I can't stand it. I just can't stand to see it, and there's no reason for it. That's the thing. If everybody thought, like you were just saying about those people running over sticky before, if you just stop and think, why is that person doing what they're doing, you're probably not going to be mad at them, because there's a reason people do everything they do. You just don't know the reason. We just don't know what we don't know about people. And that's actually what that second book I wrote was about. Was I wanted to get that across to kids, that sometimes you just don't know what you don't know. And, if you did know the reason they were doing it, you probably wouldn't be nearly as nasty to that person if you just thought about it for a minute. But we aren't really taught that as kids. We aren't really taught to think about why they did that, not just that they did something that you didn't like. Why did they do it? And so that's kind of what I'm trying to get across to kids is like, hey, you don't know that person's story, so just be nice to everyone, because you don't know what they've gone through, and you may not want to know what they've gone through. It may be way more than you can handle. So, people go through a lot of crazy things in their lives, and we just have to be cool to everyone. That's just kind of, there's no reason not to.
Yeah. So obviously, let's talk about the books. Now, obviously, Sticky inspired you to do books, but you already wanted to write books prior to obviously picking up Sticky.
I did, yeah, I did. It just seemed fun to me to write little stories for kids, and I used to tell my kids stories, and we just, we'd made up little characters as my kids were growing up, and we just never had any real way to do it, and so we never really did it. And then when this happened, we had people trying to get us to sell cat food, and so they sent us the cat food, and Sticky didn't like the cat food, and so I can't sell that cat food because the cat doesn't like it. And so then, yeah, they would have people all.
So hold on a minute. So he's a picky Sticky kitty.
He is a picky Sticky kitty for sure. Yes.
I'm a poet, and you didn't know it.
Exactly. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. We don't even think that he knew he was a cat until we got another cat, because we found him at 5 weeks, and then he had just moved into a house full of dogs, and so he just followed the dogs around. And then we happened to be at a pet store. We took one of our dogs to dog school, and we decided while we were in the class that she needed to go to the groomer. So my wife took her to the groomer in the store, and while she was in there, I looked at the cat cages, and there was one cat out of these 10 cages. All the cages were empty except one, and this cat just sat there looking sad. And I asked the guy, "What's wrong with that cat?" And he said, "Nothing. He's just been here for a long time." I said, "Is he mean?" And she said, "No." And I went and sat down with him. And by the time my wife had checked in our dog to a groomer, she came back out, and I was filling out papers, and she said, "What are you doing?" I said, "We're taking that cat." I said, why are we taking the cat? I said, "Because he's in a cage. Look at him." Like, look, that's his whole life. Let's get him out of the cage. So we took that cat home, and as soon as Sticky met that cat, you could almost see it in Sticky's face, looking at us and then looking at the cat, like, why is that dog doing that thing? I think that's because that's not a dog, that's a cat. And you're a cat, and you almost want to explain it to him. And so he's slowly learning to be a cat, but yeah, it's just been funny watching him learn that other thing. But yes, anyway, back to your question. Yes, the book. So I've always wanted to write books, and then people started coming out and asking us if we wanted to do reality shows and if we wanted to do all these things. And what we were looking for is what will help people, not what will make us money right now. What will help people, and we didn't want to make any money off of it. We just wanted to, we got this opportunity to do something good for people. Let's do it. Let's do some good. And so, so then someone said, "Well, write a book about how this happened." But they were talking about basically a biography of how this happened. And we realized, no, we can write a kid's book and teach kids just with this story that the world is not as scary as it seems, and there are more people that will help you than will hurt you, but we don't hear about those people. We hear the news wants to tell us about the people that are scary and the things that are scary, and that's what we hear about. We just hear scary cells. I had a reporter literally tell me, there's a phrase in the newsroom, if it bleeds, it leads. That is horrible. That is, that's what sells. They want the scary, gory thing. That's what people want to see. And so we just wanted to go the other direction with it and tell kids, it's not as scary as it seems, and you just have to ask for help, and someone will help you. And that's kind of how we ended up. That's who needed more help than Sticky that morning. That's when I saw him sit up. That's all I thought was that cat is asking for help. That's all I could think was like, oh my gosh, like that guy couldn't be asking harder for help. Like he couldn't. If he could scream, I'm sure he would. And so so that's how we turned that one into it. And then I had this other story that I always tell my kids all the time about, but what I just told you is we don't know what we don't know about people, so just be nice to everyone because you don't know their story. And so we turned that into a book. And then we're kind of working on a third one, too. Not quite sure what that one's going to be, but it's just fun to do them, so that's what we're doing.
But I did see that you put a picture on your timeline, and that was about Sticky Kitty being on a surfboard.
Yes, because... Yeah, so in my normal day-to-day life, I am a surfer, musician, artist, and that's what I love to do. And so that picture that I put up, I just had the artist that does the book, I sent him a picture of my favorite surfer and asked if he could draw that with sticky, and he did. And once he drew that, I'm like, oh, man, I have to turn that into a book. Somehow we have to make that into a book.
So you heard it first. Look out, he's going to be doing another book.
That's right. There it is, yes. So we're kind of leaning towards, different cultures. So I spent some time in Japan as a teenager for 2 years or so over there. And what I learned the most over there is, how different cultures are. We're all the same, but us as Americans, we show up in a place and we're loud and we're big and we make a point to everybody know we're there, and that doesn't work everywhere. That doesn't, that's not how Japanese people
in that
live.
case, I'd go well
yeah.
in America. That's all I can say.
Right.
Here I am.
So, yep. That's how we. Yeah, and so then I grew up in Hawaii. I spent a lot of time in Hawaii, and Hawaii's kind of the same way. We come over there from the mainland America. We go to Hawaii, and we come in like we own the place, and we're going to run it. And no, that's not how it works. You have to be, respectful to people, but that's everywhere. Everywhere you go, if I came over to visit you, you have to be respectful and learn the way people do things, because that's how you get through life. So I think the next book will be something along those lines. But I got to find a way to put that surfer in there somehow.
So if anybody's got any ideas for that, by all means message Chuck, and he'll be all ears for that one as well.
That's right. Send them on. Yep.
So what is there other things that you would like to do, Chuck? Rather, obviously you've got the books, and that's obviously getting the word out there, because I've seen you've sent books literally all over the place. I mean,
all over. Yeah.
Yep.
They're in that first book is in, I think it's 5 different countries' libraries now.
Really? That's amazing. So how many books have you sold, say, of the first one?
The first one, probably getting close to 1,000 of it, which isn't a ton. It's not a lot, but it's a lot for a guy who just wrote a little story about a kitten. So.
Do you know what? That's brilliant, isn't it? Just to be able to get a story out there. I mean, for the guy that's literally said to me, I don't know what I want to do, but I want to do something good. Well, 1,000 books got out there and made a difference to children out there. Let's face it, not just children, but adults too. I think, just that impact of somebody actually cares.
Yeah, I've had a lot of grown-ups actually. They'll order the book and they'll tell me, no, this is just for me. I just want it. And that's cool. That's the coolest thing. Yeah, we didn't make any money off of it really, but the coolest thing that we did is I'll get these packets from schools where I've donated a book to the school, and then the teacher will have the kids draw me pictures of Sticky or whoever they're talking to, whatever they took out of the book, and they'll draw pictures. And so I get these packets of pictures, which is worth every bit as much as money to
brilliant.
me. That's just so cool. Yeah, it's so cool to see that those kids that are drawing this, they got it. They got what I was saying, and it changed their view on something, and so that's worth as much as money to me any day.
Jim, I've got an idea for you. How about Sticky the Kitty page, right? But it's a photo gallery, and you could get the pictures that the kids have done and put it in a gallery.
Oh, that is a great idea, actually. That is because I was trying to find a way to share all those, but I had no way, to do that. I'd have to post all those pictures on my page. That's a great idea. Great idea.
Do you know what I mean? Because then the parents can see them as well. Because let's face it, how many of us have had a picture of what our kids have done and thought, that's amazing. Where did we put it now, years after? Do you know what? A picture's just come to my mind of when I was younger. My mum came to a parents' evening, and the teacher, I can always remember her name, Mrs. Doan, and she literally said, yes, Mrs. Davis, you need to come and have a look at the picture that your daughter's drawn. I'd drawn a picture of Mrs. Doan in a fire, and she was screaming from the top window. I think, oh my God, that poor teacher what must she have thought? I don't know where it came from, but I look now as a mum and I think, God, my mum must have been mortified. Oh my gosh!
Oh,
but
so
have you Okay, so you've obviously had these children that have done pictures after they read your book, and obviously a lot of your books are obviously going to be on, helping kindness and stuff. Have you actually had kids that have come that have said to you that they're sad, or that they've had things happen, or, maybe family's just a bit hard at the moment, or whatever? Do you mean, have you had anything that's shocked you, really?
We get a lot of those stories. We get a lot of emails from people. Yeah, it was kind of a strange thing that all of a sudden all of these people started looking to us for answers to their problems. And, sometimes we have the answer, but sometimes I just don't have the answer to that. And, the coolest thing that happened out of this whole thing was there was a man from over there where you are, somewhere in the UK, and so right after this happened, apparently he was killing himself. He was in the middle of killing himself. And he looked up and saw this story on the computer and stopped and read the story and then didn't kill himself and sent me an email telling me that I had saved his life by stopping and picking up this kitten. So that story, I can take that story back 4 years before that to how I found Sticky. I was leaving a job because they weren't treating people there very well at all, and I just couldn't. I was a boss, but they were trying to make me treat these people that way, and I couldn't do it. And so I had gone to an interview. This was at a retirement home. It was a care home for elderly people that had memory issues. And I started talking to a lady that was sitting there while I was waiting for this interview. This lady thought I was someone else. She thought my name was Roger. And so she's talking to me, and she's telling me stories about things that I don't know about and people I don't know about it. And I'm just kind of playing along with her and like, oh, yeah, okay, sure. And I'm acting like I know what she's talking about. I missed the interview because I didn't want to interrupt this lady. But as I was talking to this lady, I realized I probably don't want to work here because I'm going to get really attached to people like her, and then they're going to pass away, and I'm going to be really sad all the time. And so I kind of realized I didn't really want the job, but I needed another job. And so I had missed the interview, but I got up to leave after this lady was finally done talking. I gave her a hug, and she had a big smile, and I did good here. I helped this lady, and then as I was walking out, I stopped in the office of the person that was going to do the interview, and I told him, hey, I was here, but I know I'm 15 minutes late for this now, and that's fine. And when he realized what I was doing, why I was late, he said, okay, come back, in a couple days, and let's do this interview again. And I'm thinking, oh man, I don't want this job, but I need a job, so I better come back and do this. And so I went home. Had I interrupted that lady, I would have gone into that interview and I would have got that job that day. But since I didn't interrupt her, I went home. I found a different job, which is the job I had when I found Sticky. So if I had interrupted that lady, I wouldn't have found Sticky. There'd be a man in England today dead by his own hand because he didn't see that story. So I can trace that back to literally not interrupting a nice old lady saved a man 4 years later in England, which is the wildest thing to me. But that is tangible proof that kindness spreads. It has an effect, and it could have gone the other way had I interrupted her and been rude to her and told her, hey, I don't have time to talk to you. I need to go get this job. That man would be dead. It would be the opposite. And so that's the story that I tell kids all the time that, hey, I have proof right here in this little kitten that being nice to people will continue on, and that niceness, that kindness will just keep going through the universe from person to person to person to person. And so that's the biggest story that I tell kids when I go to schools or when I do things like that or when I talk to kids, that, it'll spread. I have proof right here. So
Yeah. It's so funny. I feel like our lives have almost gone they've gone along the same path, but mine's took different paths. I actually lost my brother. It'll be 3 years in November, and he actually committed suicide.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And do you know what, though? I've lost my daughter after 2 days. She died at 2 days old in 1996. I've lost my grandparents. I've fallen out with my mum and dad. And before anybody starts with, oh, your mum and dad are your best friends, trust me, they are not. I could do a big show just about what they've done, so we'll stop right there. But I've actually said, Chuck, that I think that I have been thrown all of these things because I'm here to help people. I can talk to people. I do know what it's like to have lost somebody to suicide. I sit here every day and I've got all those questions about why did he do that? Why didn't he just ring me? Now, I wasn't talking to my brother at the time because he'd got demons and he'd pushed all of us away, even my kids, and he'd pushed us all away. And I've said to my kids, you know, there's nothing we could have done. That was his choice. I think that he was born too late, is what I've said. And I just say to everybody, you know, that one phone call, that one smile, that one open the door for somebody or whatever can make a massive impact. You know, it might just seem small to you. You know, you're opening that door for that old lady, you know, she just found out something happened to her husband, or, you know what I mean, every small little thing, you know, and all these people that are hurting people, they don't realise what's going on behind the scenes. There's a reason for all of these things, do you know what I mean? And you saying about going into a care home, I actually worked in, I actually was, when I was 16, went into a nursing home. We were doing a Friday afternoon, every Friday afternoon we went in, and I went in this one day, and there was this little, frail little old dear, and she got really thin wrists, and she was beautiful, Chuck. She was absolutely gorgeous, old lady. You could see that she means stunning in her years, do you know what I mean? Anyway, I wasn't allowed to pick her up or anything or sit her up or anything because obviously health and safety. So I went up to this girl and I said, oh, can you do me a favour, please? She went, yeah, what's that? And I went, could you please just sit her up a bit? She's slouching and she looks uncomfortable. Could you just sit her up? And this girl literally picked up this old woman and nigh on chucked her in the back of this chair. And I won't repeat the words that I said, but I gave her a few words of wisdom and said she shouldn't have done that. And I went to see the lady who was like running it all, and I went, look, I'm not being funny, but what if that had been my nan? I said, I'm not being funny. She wouldn't still be stood up if she was my nan. You know, all of these people are my nan and granddad's figures, do you know what I mean? And when I actually went into care work, I actually got told when I got the job, and they said to me, but don't get attached to the people. And I went, what do you mean don't get attached? I went, no, don't get attached to them. You know, it's work and whatever. And I went, I can't do the job without getting attached. They said, what do you mean? And I went, no, because I'll treat all of those people like they're my grandparents. If I'm not treating them like my grandparents, then I shouldn't be in the job. And some of the stories I could tell you about what I did see were, like, horrific, you know. But you're right, you do get attached, you know. And I think...
Oh, sure.
You have to put your heart into things. Whatever you're doing, you put your heart and soul into stuff. And if you're not hurting because of something, I don't think you're putting your heart into it.
That's true. That is true. Yeah, absolutely.
But, you know, but for you to say that you've saved somebody's life in literally a totally different country, that's like amazing, you know. But years before, I'd actually done the same sort of thing, but I was on a CB at the time, and I literally was talking to a guy, and he wasn't feeling this, but I literally spent an hour on the CB talking, and obviously other people were listening to this conversation, and everybody was messaging me afterwards saying, oh my God, how did you do that? But this guy actually messaged me months later to say that he was actually okay, that he got himself a job, he'd sorted stuff out, and totally different. It just, you know, an hour of my time, that's all it took. You know, I just wish that my brother had just rang one person who just, like, given him the, you know, got the hint, you know, and this is the thing, we can make a difference. And this is really why I wanted to get you on the show, Chuck, because you are just like quite a few other people I know, an inspiration to so many people, you know, you just need, don't we, just that one little opening of the door to be able to make that very big difference. That's all it needs.
It's true.
I'm actually at the moment, I'm actually messaging celebrities, right, all over the place on Twitter and everything, right? And just all I needed is just one little person to come on. And I sat there today thinking about you coming on the show, and I will be honest, I've been excited all day, and I was thinking, oh, we're going to have such a laugh, and I've seen people putting comments on your thing, you know, and they've been quite good banters back and two. And I'm thinking, John, I don't need a celebrity. I just need good people to share the show. I just need good people on the show. I just need to, even if I make one little difference to one cat, one dog, one person, one child, you know, somebody's life, whatever, that's that. I shouldn't be looking at something huge to start off with. I should be looking about that one difference, and that's exactly what we should all be doing.
Absolutely. And it's, and Yeah, absolutely. It's really, like you're saying, it's very easy to make a difference. And if you just make one person's life better, like you said, one animal's life better with your show, you did more than a lot of people do. That's you've done more already than a lot of people have done just by being you and doing what you're doing. Yeah. So, yeah, it's really easy. Like, yeah, I say that all the time. Just like you just said, open a door, smile, just literally smile at someone, and that can change their whole day, which can change their whole week, which can change their whole year, which can change their whole life. It's, that smile might not be the thing that changes their life in 6 months, but it started it. It started whatever you did to change that person's day, that started them on the path to that. And it's so simple, but it's so overlooked by so many people. And I think people just get stuck in their own heads and their own lives and their own world and don't think about other people. But really, what are we doing here? If we're not helping each other get along and we're not helping people, what's the point? Why be here?
Yeah.
So
yeah, definitely. Right, I've got to ask you another question over Sticky. Right, I was watching. Obviously, you went and took Sticky to a huge gathering. You were doing a speech, and obviously your wife took Sticky with you. And Sticky's over her shoulder, and the guy there literally says, "Everybody don't applause because you might scare the cat and everything." It's like, and Sticky's like, "I'm not really bothered about anything, quite frankly." But then I did actually hear that Sticky's actually deaf as well. Was that true?
Yeah, he is deaf. Yes, absolutely. Sorry, I'm sitting here in the parking lot talking to you, and I had someone start a motor here next to me. Yes.
Give them a wave.
He is, just go on now, go away. Yeah, he's deaf, and that took us a while to figure that out. It was probably 3 or 4 weeks before we realized he was actually deaf, and I was putting dishes away, and I dropped the silverware basket, and silverware went all over the floor, and the dogs ran and scattered, and everybody turned and scattered, and we looked over at Sticky, and he was just sitting there looking away and didn't move at all. So we all got the family behind him, and we were clapping and yelling, and we had the dogs barking, and he wouldn't even look. And you'd tap him on his back, and he would turn around and look at you. And we realized, oh, my gosh, you were deaf. And so we took him to the vet, and they looked in his ears, and they said he was probably just born that way. It probably had nothing to do with, how he started. But, yeah, they thought maybe it might come back, but it never came back. And so it doesn't seem to bother him, and he's the best sleeper in the house. That guy sleeps better than any of us. Right in the middle of the floor. Everybody's running around, and he'll just sleep right in the middle of the floor, spread out.
Oh, bless him. What's he actually like when you're taking him, obviously, to these events and stuff? What is he actually like? Does he just sit there, or have you had the odd case when he wants to run off?
No, he's never tried to run off. He just sits there. It's funny. It's almost like he knows he's famous. He'll sit there for a while, and he'll take it for a while, and then eventually he'll just kind of start trying to wiggle and try to get, okay, I'm done. And then you put him back in his little crate, and he'll lay there, and then he'll come back out. But his favorite spot is my wife's shoulder, and she puts him on her shoulder. He'll sit there for a couple hours, and just he'll let people pet him. He loves little girls for some reason. Little girls come to pet him, and they can pet him all day long. And you have a grown up come and pet him, and he's just kind of like, okay, all right, that's enough. But little girls, he'll sit there all day. And that's been a funny thing too. We've gone to these book signings, and we've had, the wife and the husband will come up, and the husband will be standing in the background, and the wife will be so excited to see Sticky, and she'll turn around and look at the husband like, you want to see the cat? And almost every time they just kind of stare at their wives and say, we have 2 at home. I don't need to see that cat. I get it. I get it. Your wife drug you out here to meet this guy and this cat. I get it. And they just stare at me like, who are you? I don't know, buddy. Sorry. Sorry you had to go.
Have you had a lot of people that have actually, because the one thing I really like is the fact that sometimes, and I know when we've had different shows about different animals, like Patrick. I remember when Patrick was found. If you haven't seen that story, I'll send that to you, Chuck. And it was about Patrick was found. He was literally, I'm just going to say, a bag of bones. He was dumped down a garbage chute and everything. But then all of a sudden, everybody said, "Oh, we want to rescue him. We want to rescue him." And it's like, it started a wave of people saying, "Oh, well, we've just been to the rescue and we've just gone and rescued one." Have you got it where other people have actually then gone and rescued a kitten because of sticky as well?
Oh, yeah, a lot of those. We get a lot of those where people send us pictures of the cat that they had gone and got at the pound, or the dog that had gone and got at the pound. And that's always really heartwarming to us, too, that, you know, that started because of sticky, and those animals now will be protected. And, yeah, that's kind of what we want to do with the foundation, is just keep promoting that. Yesterday, I don't even know if I should say this on the radio, but I'll say it anyway. Yesterday, I went and talked to some people. So near our home, there is a big cat sanctuary, and I didn't even know it was there. It's 7 miles from our house, and it's a real sanctuary where it's not a zoo, it's not a petting zoo, it's not open to the public, but they have tigers and mountain lions and all of these things that were pets at some point. Someone bought a baby tiger and thought it would be cute, and then it grew up, and they'd be like, oh my gosh, this is a tiger. And yeah, that's real tiger. And so they send them. So this place has these big enclosures. They make these giant enclosures for them that are all natural. There's no fake rocks. It's just all trees and everything. And the whole point of this place is to just take care of these cats. It's not, they don't let people come and see them because that stresses them. They don't take them out to show them because that stresses them. They just, once they're there, they are just there for life to be taken care of. And they want me to come be their facilities director over there, and currently I'm just trying to figure out how to afford that, because it's a nonprofit, and nonprofits, nonprofits don't make a lot of money. That's why they're nonprofits.
Yeah.
And so I'm just trying to figure out how to make that work right now. But if I can make that work, that is where I'm heading over there, to go hang out with tigers and lions and make their lives better. So that's just kind
maybe we can between us have a word of some of the listeners and your obviously people that are following you as well. Maybe they can come up with some ideas. My thinking is, could you not get them to do photos? You know, so we can get you can get pictures of them, and then literally frame them.
I did of the big cats.
Yes.
I took pictures yesterday while I was there, and then the lady that runs it asked me to not post them because, again, no one knows that this place is out there. And so once I'm there, I'm sure I could. And then once we combine, because they're a nonprofit, and then we have our nonprofit, and we were talking about how we could join those to make this work for everybody and do even more good. And so I'm sure once we were there, we could do things like that. I'm just working on any kind of idea.
Do you know what? There's so many things, isn't it? Because I'm thinking to myself, gosh, you could do photos and all sorts, do you know what I mean? And then maybe adoptions, so people could actually adopt and think, because there's loads of things that people will adopt, and you could do teddy bears, so they got sent a teddy bear, and, but do you know what? It's yet again, you are making such a big difference. That you could change everything that they're doing. They're probably struggling. Like, let's face it, loads of animal shelters out there are literally struggling because, a lot of them are doing it literally like us for the love of animals. They've saved one or they did whatever, and it's hard to fundraise because we're all wanting to make a difference. And the ones that literally, it always seems that the ones who've got loads of money don't want to do an animal shelter. The ones of us who haven't got a lot of money want to do everything with it.
Right, yeah, that's how it works. Yeah. The ones that don't have money are doing it for the right reason. That's what it seems like. Okay, you're doing it to actually help, and that's why they don't have money, is because this lady that I was talking to, she's run this this thing for 20 years, and she's never taken a paycheck. Never.
Really?
And that's the kind of people right there that, okay, you're doing this for the right reason. And so her husband works, and her husband, puts money into it, and she gets a retirement, and she puts that into it. But she said, no, I've never taken a check, ever. 20 years, never taken a check for doing this. And she has, it costs them $40,000 a month to run this place, because these are real tigers and mountain lions. Like, these are big animals. They feed them 120 pounds of meat a day through these guys. And
beautiful. Oh,
yeah, it's amazing.
Just do me a favor. Next time you go, I want you to take me some pictures or videos and send them to me, because that would just be amazing, absolutely amazing. But do you know what, Chuck? This goes back to something, one of my dreams, right? My dream is I would love to do the Ask Sue show so that I could be like Ellen DeGeneres. Don't get me wrong, I would like to become famous, but for the right reasons. I want to become famous so that, like, for us, we've got Asda, Tesco's, Aldi, Lidl, and all these supermarkets and all different things. And I'd love them to be able to sponsor me so I could say to people like you or people in the UK, you know, that are doing these sorts of things, here you go, here's 10,000, go and give it to them and go and help them make a difference. I would love that.
Right.
Not about filling my pocket up. Don't get me wrong. I could do with a few grand in the bank if anybody's got any spare. But you know, the reality is just to be able to go and say, even to, you know, there's like rescue centres locally to me now. I'm sure they'd be quite happy with a couple of £100 just to be able to go and get a few bags of dog food for the animal shelter. Wouldn't it just be nice just to be able to say, here you go? You know, and I think to myself, Ellen DeGeneres, to be able to say to, like somebody I was watching the other day and she was giving like 25,000 to a student that made a difference in the world. Oh my God, wouldn't that just be amazing?
Yeah,
you know,
that would be incredible for anyone, anybody's cause. So you keep doing it.
And that is my dream. I would like to be the Ellen DeGeneres of the UK. To be able to do it so that I could speak to. I mean, my website actually hit 30 countries, and one person in the UK doing radio shows. I had an animal shelter shut in Tennessee in America. I've never been to America, and it shut down because they were killing dogs with a third of the euthanization drug. My Facebook page that was covering the story made American news, and the reporters wanted to know who I was that was running the page. And I said to everybody, nobody tells the TV who I am. It's not about me. This is about getting them animals out of there and getting that woman from that shelter. And we actually had it shut down.
Good for you. Nice job.
But that's what's made. But we're doing about BSL laws in the UK. We've done so many different shows, like America, UK, China. We've done all different shows covering all these places. But do you know what, Chuck? Just imagine if all these different people could all connect and make a difference. You know, I see all these people setting up all these new groups and all these new pages, and I keep saying to them, we don't need any more groups. We don't need any more pages. We need an umbrella to get all these people together.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Do you know what
I mean? We've got, you know, so many things about, you know, cats that need rehoming in America or in such and such. We need one big, huge page that literally will do everything at once, do you know what I mean? And maybe then we could, like, say, the radio could advertise that one page and we could get everything. So we could have, like, 100 admin on there that could all post on one place.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a great idea. Great idea.
And maybe then the radio show could get sponsorship so that we can actually promote that page. So instead of everybody trying to promote their page, we could promote one big page that we could promote all of their things.
I love that idea. That is a great plan.
Do you know what I mean? But the thing is, though, I've just got to say to everybody, Chuck is so literally humble in everything. He's saying about this, you know, Sticky and about his little drink. This guy's currently got 37,000 followers on a page for Sticky the Kitty. That is amazing.
That is quite amazing to me. Yes, it's quite amazing.
Absolutely amazing. I was looking at it and seeing these people, and you've united so many people. It's inspirational, to be honest, Chuck. Absolutely inspirational. And I've literally just got Sean, who's messaged me saying, because we've got people, you can actually join the chat room on the Blog Talk Radio. Anybody wants to come and think. And he's actually put on there, tell him, I think he's amazing, he's inspirational. And he's right.
Thank you very much.
It's just absolutely amazing. So, everybody wants to know what's Sticky doing right now. So are you at home?
I am not at home. I'm actually at work. But he's probably sleeping. That's mostly what he does. Yeah.
So what other pets have you got beyond Sticky then? What other pets have you got?
So we have 5 over there right now. We have 2 cats and 3 dogs. And the one cat we got from the cage at the pet store. We got her out of the cage. Sticky we found glued to the road. We have a little miniature pinscher who was just in a high-speed chase over here with the police. She was in the car that was running from the police. The car flipped. The driver was killed, and this dog and her puppy were thrown into a ditch, and the puppy didn't make it, and they didn't think this dog was going to make it. And so they just gave her drugs to make her comfortable until she died, and she didn't die. And we took her, and we kind of nursed her back to health, and she's an amazing little dog now and not even close to dying. So they were wrong on that one. We had our black lab, that poor girl was tied to a tree for about a year on a run on a tree between two trees. And so when we got her, she was covered in sap, and people were just looking for a new home for her. And so we brought her home, and we couldn't figure out why she was covered in sap. And then when we finally talked to someone that knew the story, they said, oh, she was tied to a tree for a year. Like, oh, my gosh. So we got that one. And then Stewie is our little Chihuahua, and he's been around forever. He's been around since he was a baby. He's 9 now, and that's my wife's. And she rescued that one from a girl with a drug problem who was dragging him around all the time. And she finally just said, you know what, leave the dog here. And the girl left the dog and went off and did whatever she was doing. And Stewie went to a better place, and now he's ours. And so everybody there has been rescued from something. And it's amazing. They all get along. That's the crazy thing. There's 2 cats and 3 dogs, and they will all sleep in a pile. And it's just hilarious that they never fight ever. The biggest thing you'll hear is a growl maybe from one of them because someone's trying to get into their food. But they never fight, yeah. Which is just amazing. And they all play together. They all will wrestle together. They'll go out in the yard. We don't really take Sticky out. We don't let him out on his own because he's deaf. And he won't hear any cars or he won't hear anything coming up on him. So that's kind of his own protection. But we will take him out there when we're outside, and he never runs away. He just hangs out with everybody, but he just wants to be out there with everyone. So we'll hang out in the yard and throw the ball around, and he just wants to be in the middle of it. So it's turned into quite a nice little family over there in our little tiny house. And that's how it.
So are you going to be doing any books that include all of them in?
Probably the next one. So we've added, the second book was the Black Lab when she came to live with us, and that was the story of Sticky and the Black Lab trying to get along and them not knowing what the other one had been through. And it goes back to we don't know what we don't know. And that's how that one. And now that we have this other one, I imagine we'll bring them all into the next story. And that's been fun, too, is just add them as we go. So it's kind of a real-life story, but it's not really real life, but it's the characters are real life, so that's fun. And
I've actually got a Labrador cross with a Staffy Bull Terrier at the minute, and she is oh my gosh, so funny. She's hilarious, and a nightmare and everything else. But she's surrounded by all these cats, and she looks at them and she looks at me as if to say, "Oh, come on, just a little play." And that noise you keep hearing, she's actually got bones, and so she's chewing the bone all the time. And, it's enough to make your teeth cringe, to be fair. Absolutely. Right, I've got to say a big hello to Ellie, Luke, Jenny, Alison, and Pete, who are listening to the show, and they're all in the UK as well. So a big hello to them as well.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah. So, what have you got a YouTube channel as well? At all?
We do have a little bit of a YouTube channel. I think it's Sticky the Kitty 503 because that's our area code. But I think we have a little bit. My wife really does the Sticky's page on Facebook, so she does that end. My sons do the YouTube channel, and they're really into YouTube. I don't really know how it all works. I'm not a big computer guy. When the computer breaks, I yell, "The computer's broken," and I go outside for 10 minutes, and I come back, and someone's fixed it. And that's usually perfect.
That's like me with my daughter, actually. Yes, same thing.
Yeah. So they kind of run that, and so we have that page. We have the websites. That's stickythekitty.com and stickythekittyfoundation.org, and we have the Facebook page, and then I have my page, and I just opened my page up public after I got So, like I said, I had 128 friends, and by the end of that first weekend, I had 30,000 friend requests, and I could only accept 5, and so I just made it public, and so people can see whatever I'm ranting about that day and whatever's going on. And
just say that again. 30,000 friend requests.
Oh yeah, 30,000 friend requests. That original post that I made has 300,000 comments on it and 981,000. It's almost 1 million likes on it. And
that is brilliant, isn't it? Do you know what that
it's just mind blowing.
Do you know what that proves, though? That we have got actually good people out there.
That's
I think
the biggest
all
story
of us.
I tell. That's the biggest thing that I taught out of this.
Yeah, I think all of us sometimes think, do you know what, this is such a horrible world out there. And I'll be honest, I'll put my hand up and I'll say that I've said it out loud, and think, come on, everybody just give a break. And my quote of the day is, and what I keep using at the moment is, I feel like I've got a bike with no chain.
Right.
When you're just doing something and it's like, come on, I'm in the same place as what I was way back, do you know what I mean? But that just goes to prove there is good people out there, do you know what I mean? That's, just that one video has made such an impact. And I think this is the thing, isn't it? It's just that one video, I've seen the one with Patrick when he literally got pictures of him with just showing his bones. It was just horrendous, do you know what I mean? And that was just amazing. Absolutely amazing. The story that he got out there, he made, just one dog made such an impact. Yep.
And that's kind of funny, too, is I'll sit there every once in a while and just look at Sticky, while he's sleeping on the couch, and we're just sitting there and it's quiet at home. And it's amazing to think that cat that made such a difference to so many people in the world, and he has no idea. It's funny to look at him, and he's just living life as a cat, and he just has no idea. Like, man, that cat touched almost 1 million people just on that one post. So
yeah,
and
exactly.
That's the biggest lesson that I have learned out of this is there are so many more good people than there are bad people. Well, we just don't hear about them. That's the thing. We don't hear, like I said earlier, the news wants to tell you about the scary things because that's what will sell the news. But there are so many more people that would have stopped for that cat than wouldn't have, and we just don't hear about them. That's the problem. So we just need to get to where we're hearing about those people more than we're hearing about the bad people.
Yeah. So obviously you set up the foundation and everything. What are you wanting to do with the foundation and everything? Obviously it's gone viral with Sticky, and you've obviously got loads of followers. So where do you want to go with it now? What have you got certain charities you want to help, or what's the score? Where are you wanting to go with it?
Well, we've helped a lot of different charities, and we contribute to charities monthly, and we have that set up. But what we really want to do is start our own sanctuary for pets and for animals that were close to getting euthanized and that kind of thing. And so we're trying at this point to buy a farm here in Oregon and set that up to where, kind of like that big cat thing I was talking about earlier, where they can just come and live out their lives and they don't have to worry about where they're going to be tomorrow and kind of thing. And so that's really what we're heading for right now. Since we don't have that property, we're doing a lot of helping lower income families keep their pets, because I think my wife and I both think that kids with pets, that teaches them empathy, and it teaches them to be kind to people, and it teaches them that living creature, if it's a living creature, it deserves your respect and deserves your compassion, and so that's kind of where we're heading. We're trying to keep low-income families' pets healthy so they can keep the pet and, teach the kids how to take care of something and how to love something and what you'll get back from just being kind and loving something. So that's kind of what we're doing at the moment. But the big goal is to eventually get us a farm and start our own sanctuary and do our own kind of thing like that, with not quite the tigers and lions, but, more pigs and goats and dogs and cats kind of thing.
Yes, exactly. The thing is, though, Chuck, I think about this myself, thinking, it'd be lovely to have a small holding in the middle of nowhere and have kennels and things. But then I think to myself, within probably 10 minutes of saying on Facebook, I've literally got 20 kennels are empty, they'd be full. So the trouble is, though, we make more kennels and they're empty and they're soon full. We need to be starting to think about how can we make changes to stop all these dogs in the first place. It comes back to neutering and, not having puppy farms and not all these different other things. And this is the trouble. We can set up more Facebook pages. We can set up more shelters, but it just refills again. It's like when I've seen animal shelters that have said, they've got to close down for some reason and they've got to close, say, for 2 months, and we need to get all these empty, and everybody's fighting to get that empty. But then no sooner that, say, for instance, that's painted, in no time, it's back again, and it's literally full again.
Yeah, so, that is true.
So is it that we need more shelters, or is it that we literally need to make an impact to stop the shelters being full?
No, you're absolutely right. And that's the thing people need to think, too, is a lot of the cats that I saw yesterday over at that sanctuary started off as pets. And then so these people buy these $10,000 hybrid cats, and then the cat gets big, and they realize, I can't have this cat in my apartment. And so that's kind of the thing, too. It's like, stop buying $10,000 animals. There's free animals just dying for a home, in the shelters now. So why do you need a $10,000 cat when you can go get a regular cat that would love you just as much, probably more because it's a normal cat? And so that's kind of, you're absolutely right. We need to change the thought process.
Yeah, because I see, I literally follow the NYACC, where they literally have got thousands every single year that are put down. And I think, do you know what, I would just love to get there. And, there's loads of people doing so much, there's so many shares and everything on Twitter, but it's not stopping the issue because it's still getting full again.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So, people are saying, they've just killed 10, but 10 more just came in again.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, and there'll be 10 more after those too. Yeah.
Yeah, so, exactly. Yeah. So I just think sometimes it's like I keep saying about, spaying and neutering, and we need to do all these different things, but we need to have literally a blitz on everything all over the world, literally about neutering and about differences, can we do licenses, for certain breeders and all this sort of thing? This is what needs to be stepping up now. We've got the people to unite to save the animals, and we have got people that save animals, that foster them and everything, and they're brilliant, don't get me wrong. But we're setting up all these groups and Facebook pages and everything, but now we need to be thinking, right, so what can we do to make a change now? With that?
Right. Yep, and I think all those pages you're talking about, I think if they all started – keep doing what you're doing and saving those animals. But yeah, like you're saying, start leaning towards, how do we stop this? Then I think if everybody got on that page, you're probably right. That would make a giant difference. Yeah.
But it's like,
sure.
I really want to, I'm going to speak to you after the show because I really want to get you on even if we do a fortnightly thing or we do a monthly show or something, because I really want to push you even more. I want you to push me, okay?
You got it. That's a good deal. Yep.
Joe,
Absolutely.
Honestly, it's just amazing. Just the impact that you've done and what you've done for Sticky and all of your pets and everything, and what you've done for people and other pets. It's just absolutely mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing.
Thank you so much.
How long have you got, Chuck? Have you got a while? Are you okay still, or?
I actually have to
run on?
Like I said, I'm at work, like I said, and so I have to run. But I would love to talk to you again sometime. Let's do this again.
Definitely. Right, very quickly, just tell us about your Facebook page and obviously your foundation so everybody can join up for you.
My Facebook page, it's just my name, Chuck Hawley, and you can come on there anytime. Like I said, it's mostly public, and you can see whatever I'm talking about that day. And usually on the weekends, for whatever reason, I wake up thinking about something, and I end up writing a big rant about it. And usually it's pretty well received. Sometimes you, like you said, sometimes people get on me about it, but that happens. That's life. And Sticky's page is just about having fun and being a cat and watching Sticky grow up, and that one's Sticky the Kitty. You can find that one on Facebook, and my wife does a great job with that. And then we have the StickyTheKitty.com, which is a website where the books are, and then, like I said, I'm an artist surfer, and so when I come up with a shirt or something, we had a cool little Hawaiian surfer sticky come up, and I made a shirt out of it. You'll find things like that on there. And then the foundation's page is stickythekittyfoundation.org, and that page is where all the good stuff happens, and that's where we're helping the low-income families, and we're helping the charities, and so you can donate on that page. And like we don't take a salary, no one gets paid, so every penny that gets donated is going to something good, and that's just kind of what we're trying to do.
Absolutely brilliant. I've got to say, Chuck, thank you so much for coming on the show, and I will be literally in your messenger straight after the show. And as soon as we get off the show, I literally will get in touch, and we'll organise another show, and maybe we'll get a few of your followers on to come on the show next time as well. Oh,
that would be great. That would be great. Good fun. Well, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, Chuck, have a great day. Please send our love to the family and obviously to Sticky and all the pets. And we'll speak to you all very soon.
Okay, thank you very much. I will do that for sure. And you have a great evening over there.
Yeah, and you, Chuck. Thank you very much. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Okay, talk to you soon. All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, wasn't that just absolutely amazing? Chuck Hawley. I did actually manage to press the wrong button then, I'll be honest, okay? But don't make that out thing. Anyway, just very quickly, Chuck Hawley, what an absolutely amazing guy with Sticky the Kitty, that kitten that he did rescue literally straight off the road. Just to let you know, obviously we want to literally build up with Chuck. We want to make an impact. We want to make a difference. Please go and join us on AskSueShow group on Facebook. We'll be sharing all the Sticky Kitty information on there as well. So we've got the Ask Sue Radio Show page. That's www.facebook.com/AskSueRadioShow. Join us on there. We will be getting Chuck on the show, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to get it so that he can maybe come on every 2 weeks or something, because I know he's really busy, because we want to be able to promote him and obviously other groups and everything as well. This is about making a difference. It's about uniting people. So if you've got a page group, you've got a sanctuary or whatever it may be, please give us an email or join them on the pages and give us a message. We've got our Sue Show group. Coming up and join it on there. We've also got shows coming up. We've got BSL shows that's coming up this week. Also Justice for Angel. We've also got Dog Shot by Police. That will be coming up soon as well. And also have a look at the YouTube channel, which is Ask Sue as well. We will put them all on the Facebook page straight after the show. So that's www.facebook.com and then /Ask Sue Radio Show. We'll be having BSL shows, like I say, Ending Gas Chambers, Rescue, we'll have Celebrity on, we've got psychic shows, various things coming up. Just keep an eye on the page, and by all means, and also we've got the website, which is getting updated shortly, and that's www.AskSue.co.uk. I want to thank everybody who's been listening into the show. Please come and join us, and by all means email if you've got an idea for a show, AskSueShow@gmail.com. And I will want to thank Chuck again for coming on the show today. It's been absolutely amazing. Everybody come and join us. Let's make a difference and let's unite. Thanks very much, everybody, and I'll speak to you all very, very soon. Goodbye.